Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we got to be talking about, of course, the New York Knicks. Now, what are we hearing? Oh, the Knicks have checked in on Clint Capela. The Knicks just want to keep getting richer. They're trying to catch the Boston Celtics. They're the closest team, one could say, besides like the Denver Nuggets. Now, allegedly, according to Ian Begley of SNY, the New York Knicks checked with the Atlanta Hawks on the trade availability of Clint Capela. It is unclear how deep those conversations got, but New York is known to be searching for additional depth at the center position. One challenge in inquiring Capela is the $22.3 million salary for the season. Knicks would have to part with at least one rotational player to be able to add Capela via trade. Now, I doubt Capela gets bought out. He's too good of a player. New York lost Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency. Then this left the Knicks with obviously the Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims. They also have Ariel Huckaporty, who I think is going to be a stud. They could also bring back Precious Achua. Obviously, you could sign him to like a 4-year, $13 million on like the vet deal. And really, I think the best is you do the 3-year $9 that you gave Shake. But the Knicks are obviously looking for a center, and at this point, any news story that includes the Knicks is obviously speculation. I know that. Like, look, the potential center market, we gotta look over there. Precious Achua is the easiest answer. We all know that they've been tight-lipped. I think they really like Ariel Huckaporty. Dude, I watched Ariel Huckaporty live. I talked to him at the NBA draft combine. I've been following him for 3 years now since he originally entered the draft a few years ago before he popped his Achilles. And dude, out there at the NBA Summer League, he was a man amongst boys, just defensively looking good, finishing plays, being a guy who finished passings. I think he's someone that they really like. And they have taxpayers mid-level exception. So if it's a trade, it will probably be someone that's making less than $6 million. And they have to include someone they like. And at this point, I think they also have Cameron Payne they just brought in, and Keita Bates, Keita Bates Job, and Diarate. So I think they would love to bring, Achua as the 9th rotational guy. At this point, they might be looking at a veteran along the lines of a Bismack Biyombo, a Thad Young, a Robert Covington, and they could go out and try to get Orlando Robinson, but I think they really like Ariel Huckaporty, and maybe they try to go get Precious Achua back, but I just think at this point, if they really wanted Precious Achua, or if he wanted to come back for whatever they were offering, which is probably a really cheap deal, then he would have accepted it. But that's not the reality. And I'm curious because, again, Bismack Biyombo, nothing special. He averaged like 4.5 points, 5 rebounds, and shot 56% from the field. He still can't, shoot or anything. He's better than Tristan Thompson. I just don't see another big out there. So, again, let's entertain the idea of a deal for Mr. Clint Capela. What would that look like? Because that's what you're probably coming for this video at this point. And I think that's like where you look at this. I think definitely when you look at what's going to happen, the Knicks, I think personally, got to go through the bargain bin. Convince either Precious Achua or one of the aforementioned players. However, if you were trying to entertain the Hawks, who could they offer? It's $18 million. My only assumption is that you're just trying to get rid of Mitchell Robinson. And that you're like, oh, here's Mitchell Robinson and Keita Bates Diop. I just don't know who else you would offer them. I think that's only players you would offer if I were them. And then you go over to the Hawks and you're like, you'd obviously offer picks, whatever the picks are. I don't know what the compensation you would give. But then the problem is Clint Capela makes $22 million and you're only sending out 16.9. And I just don't even think it's worth it at that point. Even if you were just trying to go out there and improve, like the only other deal I could see is that you're trying to trade for Onyeka Okongwu and Bruno Fernando, which I doubt the Hawks would want to do. Like, this deal can't go through because A, Well, like money wise, it actually can go through, but it can't go through if you have like Hieta, because he would have to be traded by himself. So that's the real kicker in this trade. But for example, if they wanted to do just a straight up Mitchell Robinson for Mr. Clint Capela, that doesn't work because the Knicks have to cut $7.9 million. Now, the idea of maybe that's where it becomes hard, but yeah, I can't see them doing this deal just because it's honestly a very, very hard deal. What they would have to do is two separate trades, which would be first trade would be Bruno Fernando, I believe, for Keita Diop, which that might be possible as they make similar money. So if they did that as the first trade, that actually does, I believe, work, because in this case, you're able to just trade 2.7 for 2.6, even, and it's like a $62,000 difference. And then if you just do, so now you have Bruno Fernando for Keita Diop, the Hawks get Keita Diop, and then you do a separate trade of Mitchell Robinson. So this would literally be two separate trades, Mitchell Robinson and picks for Onyeka Okongwu, and you walk away with a Bruno Fernando, Onyeka Okongwu, and Jericho Sims frontcourt and Ariel Huckaporty. That's the only way I see that going down, because at that point, yeah, you can just do that, which it's two separate trades, and you can decide, yeah, the Knicks are probably gonna have to give up compensation, but now you got yourself center to replace. I think that's the more realistic trade, in my opinion, than if we were to trade Mr. Clint Capela, because I think Clint Capela would just have to be so much work. But again, you would have to do two separate trades. I feel like you don't have to. You could just trade up Mitchell Robinson for Onyeka Okongwu. But in my mind, I love the idea of also doing a separate trade of Bruno Fernando for Keita Diop, and you just, in one of those trades, you include extra picks, so you can have yourself now a full 3 center rotation, and you don't have to worry about, not having enough depth at the center position. I actually kind of like that, and it's a deal that both teams benefit from because they're both making minimum contracts. Maybe I'm stupid, but I like it. I think it's a fun one. Let me hear your guys' thoughts. It's one of those trades when you look at it, I know some people are gonna just think I'm stupid because I'm entertained by it, but I think when you start to realize that, like, you're trying to find deals that it's a compromise, nobody's winning, because the best compromise is when nobody wins, and you just gotta always try to find those. And I feel like this is an example of that, where maybe you get off of Mitchell Robinson because of the injuries, and you get a guy who's younger and on a longer contract. So at glance, you might be like, oh, why would I do that? But then you realize, oh, okay, this actually could be beneficial. So for me, I think it makes sense. I also think it's kind of fun to see what you can make of it. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What would you guys do and why? And then after that, if you guys had any other comments, let me know in the comment section. But that's going to be it for me. Peace out, everybody. Bye.